Morning. How are you? How are we doing? Sorry I'm a bit late. I couldn't get my phone to turn around. Good morning if you're listening, or afternoon or evening or early hours of the morning if you're listening on podcast. It's just me today. Mark's been on fire with coffee moaning recently, hasn't he? So it's just me today. And we'll just plod along a bit. How about that? God, what a week. What a last 10 days. I just feel like we're all just landing a bit. But hope you're all well. I was just talking over on Instagram about the dread, the fear, the excitement about the weather. I am lucky in that I don't burn. As long as I put cream on, I don't burn. But I know for a lot of people just over on Instagram are saying they can't step outside in this sort of weather. And I must admit, I am a bit scared because last year was so horrible, wasn't it? It was so unbearable, the weather. And yes, because of the discomfort and all of that and the misery, we couldn't work, we couldn't sit, we couldn't stand, we just wanted to eat ice cream all day and all that bollocks. But also, just for not as many people as I hoped also had the terror of actually what was happening to the world. Because it's like, if we keep going up at this rate, so I'm kind of praying that it's a little cooler this summer. Because last summer I felt felt like dire warnings moving seamlessly onto what is going on in New York via Canada. Has anybody seen this incredible story? Of course, we'll start with the celebrity side of it, and then we'll move on. We'll take a trip to the end of the world, but let's start with celebrity. Because if we're honest, that's what piques all our interest, isn't it? End of the world comes second, really. So this is what caught Mark and I's eye last night. Wow, God, Jodie Comer left the stage 10 minutes into her Broadway play, Prima Facie, after 10 minutes, saying that she was struggling to breathe. Well, when I first saw when Mark first read me that headline, I assumed that the whole theatre had shut down, but no, the understudy came on. So one can only assume that Comer might have asthma or something like that, because if her understudy was still, or was it just the dramatics of an actress? I don't know. I can no longer go on. No, it's a bit of fun there, but actually it's extremely serious and absolutely bloody terrifying. Did anybody see it? So basically, this was a matinee. Now, the air quality in New York was just horrific. Have you seen any of the photos, guys? I mean, there are people out with full-on masks. And again, a bit like last year in the summer here, you just couldn't help but think, is this going to be our future, where we're actually just fighting for air, clean air? Apparently she coughed and then said, I can't breathe in this air, and left the stage. The performance was then delayed for 45 minutes and then resumed with the understudy. Poor understudy. Oh my God. Now, so why is the air so horrendous? What the hell is going on? So this is due to fires, hundreds and hundreds of wildfires in Canada. And the smoke, I mean, it's like, I was just looking on Twitter and stuff, people were saying, God, if this is like what it's like in New York, what the hell is it like in Canada? Because people were being told to stay inside New York, people were literally wet towels up against the door. You have to look at some of the images, quite extraordinary. And putting wet towels along the edge of the door because of the smoke. I mean, flights not being allowed to land in New York. Just absolutely petrifying. Oh, here we go. Worst in the world, the air quality was. in New York yesterday. Absolutely 90, oh God. 90 million people in the US under air quality alerts due to wildfires from Canada. Bloody hell. I mean, you know, God, when are our governments, like across the world, actually going to step up and really listen and really make changes on what's going on? I mean, it's just petrifying, isn't it? Absolutely petrifying. And all those poor people, I mean, they completely, I mean, there's thousands of people evacuated in Canada as well, just absolutely petrifying. People running, people indoors and running to get inside. I think as the mayor was saying that he came out of a meeting and he stepped out and he literally didn't know what would happen. You would think it was the end of the world, wouldn't you? This thick, like, it was like a yellow haze across the sky. People could hardly see their hand in front of them. I think it is starting to clear now, but again, end of the world. It's coming. Shall I move on to something a bit cheerier? Maybe not the best way to start a coffee chat. End of the world. Morning, Bev. Morning, Zoe. Morning, Caroline. Who else was shit scared? Again, every day there's something, isn't it? All of last week it was robots, and they're still there. Shane, first time you've ever caught a live, and I've been watching for years, probably because I'm on holiday in Cornwall. I hate you! I'm so just waiting for the sun, hoping to go to Kynance Cove. Oh God, one of Mark and I's favourite places. Please say hello to Kynance Cove for me. Oh God, before I go any further, guys, I wanted to tell you about my bra. Look at this. Isn't that nice? Look at it. Look at the lovely fit. Do you know where I got that? Tesco's. I've never been into Tesco's clothes. £7 yesterday. Nice knickers to go with it. I think it was £7. Nice knickers to go with it too. There you go. I thought I'd just distract us from the end of the world. If you're listening on podcast, you'll have to go over to YouTube to have a look. Isn't that bra nice? I only want answers from the women, please. Yeah, nice bra, comfy. No, it's not OnlyFans. It's just I know that you like to know about a bargain. Some really good bargains in there. Anyway, next, adult cuddly toys. Apparently 1 in 10 people, adults, still cuddle their cuddly toy in bed. Are you one of those people? Oh, everyone's got distracted by the bras now. I need a new bra. Are you somebody that still cuddles your teddy? Don't be ashamed. Psychiatrists, psychologists are saying this is a good thing as long as it doesn't interfere with your everyday life. I went off on one in my mucky mind about how that could interfere with your life. I said to Mark earlier, did any of your girlfriends ever like cuddle a cuddly toy? And he said, well, one of his girlfriends did have a lot of Care Bears, but and I said, did you find it a bit of a nick? He said, no, but it did get to a point after quite a while that when when you could see the Care Bears bouncing, he started to think it was a bit odd. Reese Roberts, most women I've had the pleasure to know still have cuddly toys. Wow. So are you subconsciously attracted to a certain kind of person, Reese? I don't do that, but I do have a cuddle. I do cuddle my pillow a little while back when I was feeling emotional, creatorholic. Vicky Waiting, my teddy has been with me for almost 50 years. See how I love that? Anne Illing, I knitted a donkey when I was 10 and I still have it, but I don't cuddle it. I think, right, okay, a little bit of a confession here. I totally understand it. And sometimes when friends of mine, or even when my daughters are going through a tough time, I get tempted, like if I'm in a shop and I see a really squidgy bear, to buy one. I stop myself because, of course, I think most people would think think it weird if you were to buy them a Cuddly. But I tell you what I bought once for a friend of mine who was having a breakup, one of those really long cushions that you put between your legs, and it's like having a person. So I don't see anything wrong with it at all. And in fact, whenever I go into a card shop and there's teddy bears, I spent ages going, ooh, 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 squeezing them all. I mean, I remember when the girls were small, I was just desperate for that moment when they would each take on a bear and then carry it under their arm. One of them did it, never did it, and the other one did. And oh my God, I can still get this absolutely, oh God, euphoric recall when I think of it. That just the comfort that was immediately got from putting this bear under their arm. Now, but okay, so my confession is, and I understand and I admit that this is because I am infected with the ideas around toxic masculinity, but I'm sorry, I would find it a complete and utter turn-off if I was with a fella and they cuddled their teddy bear. It would be an ick. Now, I know that's bad. I know that's bad, and I know that it's prejudice. I know all of that, but I can't get around it. I would find it an ick, especially if he then sucked his thumb. We were watching, what were we watching the other night? Oh, Vanderpump Rules. And one of the young girls in that, she's in her like 20s, and she's sharing a room. They've gone after on a trip to Las Vegas. God, I love Vanderpump Rules. And this girl, young woman, suddenly starts making up a bottle of milk with a teaspoon of honey in it. And she gets into bed and she puts the pillow on her chest and puts the bottle and sucks the bottle. The other girl's face was an absolute bloody picture, I have to say. But Sarah Witherington, ew. But I think, listen, if anybody was doing this, right, in the privacy of their own home and they said it to me, I would just think, yeah, it's just comfort. Comfort is comfort, is comfort, isn't it? I mean, for some people it's chocolate cake. For other people it's sex with a stranger. For other people, people have different ways of comforting themselves in times of need. And all are fine, but I just wouldn't ever want to see it. Oh my God, Hazel Melbourne, I know someone who still has a dummy at 35. Wow. Amanda Roach, my 23-year-old son, is he going to be all right with you still saying this? Has a bear on his bed, but he doesn't cuddle it. I wonder if he does cuddle it when nobody's looking though. So would this turn you off if your partner, you were in a new relationship and suddenly that person started to, let's take out the sucking the thumb because obviously that's too far, started cuddling a teddy bear. Proper turn off. I hate teddies, dust gatherers, Jen Legs. Jen, now you've always been a romantic, haven't you? Turn off. Is there anyone that wouldn't mind? Hot water bottle, it's like another human, yeah. So what's the difference, really? Proper turn-off, laying it off, yes, it would. It wouldn't put me off, it would show a sensitive side. Sarah Witherington, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for somebody that would say that. Somebody that wasn't infected with toxic masculinity. I love that. Francesca, how are you? My nephew fell in love with one of my teddies 7 years ago, a baby, and I gave it to him, and now my 6-month-old niece is doing the same with my other one. I love that they're in the family. Beautiful. Just beautiful. James Flanagan, big confession. I had my bottle, and duty. What's your duty? Till I was 7, thinking now I could be doing with one at the minute. What's your duty? 7 is still tiny. I would be worried if somebody didn't still have one at 7. Was it really 17, James? But you see, there you go. So like, there's a bit of a joke that you made that I could do with one now. But what would be so wrong? Absolutely nothing. I'm loving all these messages going up. No, turn off. It would put me off if my husband cuddled a hot water bottle. Oh, Jen, come on. Soften up a bit. In the room is okay, says HLJP. But not cuddling, no ways. It's all right on the bed. Would it be better if it was over on the shelf? Aren't we funny? All the restrictions we put on ourselves and others. Huge turn off, somebody said that. People are getting very aerated about this. Okay. So next I want to talk about condoms and why men don't seem to hear the same frightening messages that we do as women. Now, this is off the back of an article. I don't know if you saw yesterday, it was everywhere, about this rapid increase in, I think it's double, I haven't got the story here. I think it's, hang on one second. I can't believe I'm typing in gonorrhea. Oh, no, look, that doesn't matter. Massive increase in sexually transmitted diseases, gonorrhea and syphilis. And I remember actually during the pandemic, was it Kay? Somebody was telling about this sexual health nurse that they had been interviewing. I think it was Kay. And she was saying, you know, obviously everybody was worried, and rightly, and panicking about coronavirus, but her real true panic was the increase in STIs, just like another wildfire. And she said that it was just being neglected, and the right, you know, messages weren't getting out there, and that we're going to see an absolute, you know, we're going to see a crazy increase in numbers. And here we are. And so this article today, I really loved it. 29, I think she was, this woman who wrote this article, and she said she knows why. She said, obviously after the pandemic, and there was like, you know, a mad rush for people to have sex again and to date. And that was all great, and that's fantastic that people are back out there and having a good time. But she said the problem has always been the same. She said, you know, when you think back to when we were at school, and she said, you know, as a millennial, oh my God, was it made, you know, ultra clear to us that, you know, sex equals condom. You know, horrible graphic images of genital warts blown up to ridiculous size. So you do, you know, horror stories, scare stories. And she said, you know, and most of her girlfriends, well, all of her girlfriends walked away from that with a really strong sense that I don't want to get any of that. And I, you know, am going to insist on a condom with anybody new that I'm having sex with. And then she goes on to talk about how she recently had a date, and you know, Rumpy Pumpy was on the cards, and this chap said to her, "Do you mind if I go and buy a condom? Go and get a condom?" And she said she almost felt like proposing marriage, and the reason for that, she said, this was the one and only time, not only she, but when she told her friends as well, that a man had said that first. So I really need the men here to tell us what is going on. Why? Okay, so we know all the usual, oh God, it doesn't fit right. Oh, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel as nice. All of those excuses. Well, reasons. Okay, reasons. Let's be fair here. But why aren't you scared? That's what I want to know. And if you're listening on podcast, if you could answer this question, why aren't you scared of genital warts, gonorrhea, syphilis? Because as this woman said, she's looked after her contraception. You know, she's got a hormonal coil, so he doesn't even have to worry about that. She's okay. She's not going to have an unwanted pregnancy. So let's just part the unwanted pregnancy bit. Why aren't men scared in the same way that women are scared? Teresa Hutchinson, I don't recall sex education lessons in my school. I do want to talk about periods and when we had them. Yeah, I think maybe we just sort of let them fade because it's a lot of laughing and embarrassment. Brandon, as a man, I don't understand it. I wouldn't have sex with a new partner without a condom. Brandon, yay! I used to, Amanda wrote, no, I'm 32. How's this? I am 32, says friend, and I can't tell you how weird men can be about condoms. Yeah, but why? Why do you think? Reese, no, as a man, I'm definitely scared and acutely aware of the consequences of STI. I remember a sex ed class where they showed us the dangers of contracting syphilis. Okay. Anybody here have the experience of a man being the first one to say, let me get a condom? Now, I was looking around this yesterday and we were sitting chatting to my girls. I didn't realise that there is a mouth. It's called a damn condom. So it's really important, actually, whatever your preferences are, you know, that you do use a condom, whatever. I had no idea there was a mouth one. I had no idea. That was a revelation yesterday. It's wonderful having young daughters to teach you things. Dental dam, that's it. So, yeah, anybody here had that? How does that work? Who offers first? What happens? Ellery Jones, nope, it was always me. My husband always said it's an embarrassment thing buying them. I was his partner, always had to buy them. Oh, God, that's such a good point, Shauna. Wow. So it's like, if I say, can I go and buy one? Or if I've already got one, they will assume that they will think that I was assuming I was going to have sex. God, I'd never thought of that. Of course, that won't be the case for everybody. And actually, that doesn't excuse why men will still have sex without them. Some STIs are near impossible to get rid of, Minky Moo. Exactly. I mean, things like herpes. Oh, my God. I've got a friend with herpes who, oh, my God, it's absolute hell. Hell! Because you don't know when it's going to suddenly rage. Faith, also when we were teenagers, it was the Tombstone's aid adverts. Exactly, that's what I was talking to my girls about yesterday. I mean, it was just suddenly so terrifying, wasn't it? But I don't think people realise. I mean, okay, syphilis and gonorrhea is treated with antibiotics, but I don't think people realise left untreated, which is going to be the next thing, things can get really serious. And on syphilis, So if anybody here is thinking, woo, is riding bareback, I would just do a little reminder for yourselves. People just said riding bareback. Of the seriousness of the occasion. I've got that thing now where I've got the giggles. I've gone into sex education giggles. I mean, one of my daughters, she was telling me about when they had their sex education lesson at school. And she said it just turned into absolute carnage because they let them just like play with all these condoms and they were just blowing them up and throwing them off the balconies. She said it just... I wonder if sometimes, is it because in some schools, it's the actual teachers, isn't it? It's like the biology teacher or something that has to do it. And maybe they're a bit embarrassed themselves. Yes, dental dam, the mind boggles. I only just found out about that. Because you know that throat cancer, do you remember that horrendous when Michael, when Michael, what's his name, got throat cancer? Married to the Welsh actress. I love this because you go with me on this, don't you guys? What's his name? Got throat cancer. And he actually came out and said that his doctors had told him this was due to giving loads of oral sex. Michael Douglas, thank you. Michael Douglas. Yeah, everyone, thank you. Thank you. I love the way you helped me out there with my postmenopausal brain. Thingamajiggy, yeah. Yeah, so dental dams, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, God, I'm so glad I'm married in a long-term relationship. You people that are still out there, can I please... Oh, God, really, Kevin? I had no idea. Did anybody anybody at school ever say about, were we ever told about throat cancer and oral sex? Were those, I mean, when Michael Doug, and you know what? Good on him for saying it, because I think that was just an education for all of us, wasn't it? I'm too scared now, says Sarah Witherington, to start again. And that's a shame, because Sarah, you're the one that said you would find it nice, cute, if somebody was still cuddling their teddy bear, because it would mean that they were sensitive. So you're going to make a partner. I mean, if you want one. I do hate this thing that everybody that's single is like constantly, well, there's somebody out there for you. Why is it just okay to be single? Yeah, lots of people not knowing about oral sex and throat cancer. James, when I was 12, 2 ladies came into my school. One looked like my mother and the other my granny. That was enough. Went home thinking an STI was something that went in the television. Oh, God. Is esophageal cancer to do with the throat? Don't know. Well, they're connected, obviously. But I don't know whether that is also... I mean, obviously not all throat cancers. It must be a very particular kind of throat cancer. But yeah, I remember at the time, first of all, just thinking, oh my God, his poor wife when he said that. But then thinking, God, that was incredibly brave to say that. Because he knew there would be, because people get embarrassed, don't they? And they giggle and they snigger at these things because actually they just don't know what to do with themselves. Okay, just a last little chat on the Amanda Holden story. Did anybody see this? So the other day, Amanda Holden did a little video in a white dress. First of all, can I say I absolutely bloody love Amanda Holden. Years ago, when we were doing Loose Women in Manchester, she was filming a show there at the same time. So we all used to quite often hang out in the bars and we'd go out for dinner occasionally, all of us. And she is truly entertaining. She is very, very funny. She's incredibly smart. I'm a bit sad she's not one of my best friends, actually. She is, yeah, she's just the real deal. And she has this incredible sense of humour. And so she did this little video, this story, in a white dress. Are you okay? You know, with a little hint, or not, who knows, towards Holly's speech. Anyway, of course, all the papers went mad about, oh, she's making out that it was just a really bitchy thing. And, you know, they do love to do this. The papers, like we always say on Loose Women, we never, ever do an interview without somebody asking us, you know, what's it like backstage? How bitchy is it? And it's just, it becomes really, really tiresome. So yesterday, and it's quite rare actually for people off the telly to actually make any statement in reply to the press, because it kind of like, you know, it starts to unravel and then, you know, it opens another whole bloody conversation and then there'll be another story. So it's quite unusual. But she's refuted the claims as utter rubbish that she has a rift with Holly Willoughby. In fact, I'm sure I see them out, don't I? And don't they all go out together? There's a whole crowd, I believe. Anyway, she has put up a statement and she's going to leave it there for a couple of hours on her Instagram. And she has said, sadly, strong and intelligent women have for far too long been pitted against one another when we should all be celebrated in our own right. Amanda explained that the rumoured rift simply does not exist, adding there have been some huge assumptions made this week and everyone has feasted on them. Women are still expected to say nothing, suffer silently and just get on with it. And we do mostly. We are becoming a world which is gradually being eroded of all its best qualities, humour, backbone and truth. Hear, Amanda Holden. It's like, It's like when I do my any of my sort of parodies on Instagram, you know, whether it's Kim Kardashian or, you know, the other people that I do. And I always do it with a real sense of awe. I always make a point, actually, that I never do any of those parodies with about I would never do one about somebody I didn't like. It's always somebody that I quite like. And I'm actually having a go mostly at myself. And I really love it now, because at the beginning when I was doing, there was a real sort of sense of people wanting a narrative where I was just this bitchy woman having a go at other women. And that was because actually I'm the complete antithesis of that. So it was like, let's knock that down. And actually that really has dissipated now, and I'm really pleased for that. And I think that everything Amanda says is absolutely true. I mean, you know, over the last 10 days or so, I've said a number of times, haven't I, that the sea of like hate from the media towards Holly Willoughby is quite incredible. And why is that? Because so many, and as she says in her statement, but what a surprise that these articles have been written by men, you know. Francesca, so tired of women being pitted against each other on the back of men's bad behaviour. Exactly. Exactly. So here, Amanda. Good for you. Thank you, HLGPH. I pride myself on being a woman's one, as is Amanda Holden. I can 100% say that. They used to do it every year. Do you remember with Britain's Got Talent? Because lots of different women have come in and out, haven't they, of Britain's Got Talent? But Amanda's always been there. And because they all dress up to the nines and look totally incredible. And you know what? Don't we all do that as women when we go out? We dress up, we want to look amazing, we want to look great, we want to look, you know, for our friend. We actually dress more often, I think, for other women than we do even other men. And yet every year it was like they were trying to make out that there was something going on behind the scenes with these women. And I loved it, because actually that has not been true. Year after year after year, they are, you know, they're great friends, they stick up for each other. And that is how Amanda Holden does things usually, just by showing rather than, you know, just by her actions. But every so often, you have to, I think, stand up and say, enough is enough, matey flips. So good for her. Anyway, bit of a rambly one. If I'm honest, I fell into this a bit this morning because I slept in. Yeah, they always go after Amanda, don't they? And you know what? That's from Ellery about her clothes. And you know what? How old is she now? 50? She works her arse off. She'll be getting up at 6 o'clock, and she's great looking anyway. But she deserves to wear whatever the hell she wants and show off that body that she works her grafts for. So good for her. Don't let them get us down, eh? Morning, Tez. Thanks ever so much, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know that when we're live. We've got a really... I won't be here. Will I be here for Coffee Money's one? No, it's my friend Hannah. You know my friend Hannah? Hannah with bloody stage 4 bloody cancer that I get so angry about all the time. Well, anyway, it's her birthday tomorrow, so I'm celebrating with her. But on Saturday, we have got a bit of a special Curly Cuts of Croydon, because it's my mum's birthday tomorrow, but we're celebrating on Saturday. And I'm going to attempt doing a paella out in the garden. It could go terribly wrong, and we might have to end up getting fish and chips for my mum's birthday, but it will be a really fun one with family and the sunny garden and everything. And my Tesco bar. There it is again, if you want a last flash. Tesco, £7. Okay, guys, so, yeah, have a lovely day. Take care. Love you. Don't go changing. Missing you already.